I've shared over 400 sustainable swaps, habits, and much more that we could all potentially implement into our daily or weekly lives. But what habits do I actually do on a weekly basis? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share with you the 25 weekly zero waste or sustainable habits that I actually do. A quick thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video, and if you want to support the channel and you're new here, then hit that subscribe button and give it a like if you like it so that you never miss another video and help support me in that YouTube algorithm. If you want more content, you can also follow me over on Instagram and check out my Patreon for weekly roundups on books, news, podcasts, and all things environment related, plus a lot more. Okay, grab a cup of tea and let's get straight into it. I wash my hair once a week with a shampoo and conditioner bar. Unless I worked out a lot in a particular week, then I'll add in a midweek wash because nobody loves a sweaty scalp and curls so crumpled they look like they've been dragged through a bush backwards. I'll also deep condition my hair every other week or once a month depending on the season. I'm not only clumsy, but apparently capable of ripping my clothes often, so each week I spend a little time repairing buttons, rips and other things to prolong the life of my clothes and get the most out of them. I'm a big sprout lover, but they're impossible not to find in plastic, and considering the rate at which my family and I eat them, we decided to start growing them ourselves. It reduces a little waste and keeps the brain happy with the magic of growing your own food. Each week, I put a little money into my stocks and shares ISA, which invests in socially and environmentally responsible businesses, etc. By investing in green industries, it provides a more active way to save money and keep up with inflation, whilst also promoting the growth of a climate-positive future. Each week, if I have read a physical book and will not be dipping back into it, I will always pass it on, perhaps to a neighbour, a friend, a local library or community project. Some books are really useful and are just beautiful stories that I'll read again in the future, but some are worth passing on to help enrich the lives and brains of others. On a Sunday morning, I will sit down and read every environmental article on the conversation from the week. My sustainable knowledge has been lacking in growth recently, more on this on Sunday, and so this is a relatively new habit that I've adopted to help me create more helpful content whilst also just making me a better and more knowledgeable human being. Something I learned recently from this habit was about the decline of seagrass meadows in the UK and how the restoration of these plants could absorb carbon emissions and boost fish. I'll link the article for those interested. Now I've become an avid food prepper. Note, not a meal prepper per se, but a food prepper. I find that preparing different parts of a meal in advance allows for a little more variety, in which I find important to ensure I get everything I need on a vegan diet, as well as allowing some flexibility for weekly disruptions, tiredness, over or under eating for an array of reasons, and just provides a little novelty for my brain. And to be honest, I like to do more work on one day to allow myself to be lazier on others, and it works well for me. Things I tend to prep in advance are things like bread, braised cabbage, stewed fruits for topping my porridge or muesli now that we're getting into spring, baked sweet potatoes, brown and wild rice, granola and other longer life products. One thing I do also like to do now is prep a more luxurious meal, like a curry for a Saturday night when we want to be lazy but also eat something really good. I clean my bathroom from top to bottom with a refillable cleaner, from concentrate and some reusable towels. This is not the most fun job, but hey, it needs to get done. I just buy the concentrated bottles and then you mix it with water and reuse the bottle time and time again. I use Neat, which is a UK version, but if you're in the US, for example, Blue Land may be a good option for you if you want. Otherwise, I also just use vinegar diluted for other surfaces. Now, this is more of a monthly habit, so a little bit of a cheat, but I thought I'd just include it here anyway. I wash and care for my period underwear as well as sterilising my menstrual cup. If you've never used a menstrual cup before and you're interested, I have a video all about it that you can check out. I always try to care for things like period pants and cups with a lot more care than usual to help extend their lives, as they are supposed to last quite a long time. These tend to have slightly more expensive upfront costs, and so I want to ensure I'm not prematurely aging them. I use Thinx underwear, which if you're interested, you can get $10 off in the description. I've been experimenting with different foods to improve the quality of my skin, hair and nails. I also take a daily supplement, so don't worry. So each week I make a seed mix that I'll add to my porridge each morning. This usually includes hemp seeds, flax seeds and just generally anything else we may have lying around, and I will grind them up. Washing and drying my clothes. I use a plastic-free vegan laundry brand called Small, but you can easily make your own detergent if you want to. I'm again lazy like that, and where I can make a better choice with minimal effort, you bet I will. I hang my clothes up to dry to make them last much longer and preserve delicate items too. It saves energy and prolongs your clothes' lives. Okay, shaving. Now, I'm a once a week kind of shaver because on one hand I'm lazy and I just don't care, and on the other hand, I quite like to shave, so you can see the pickle I'm in. So I'm a once a week girl. I use a reusable razor that I've had for about 5 years now. I wouldn't personally choose this style if I was buying one now because there are way more options for body hair that are designed for legs, etc., and not just the face. However, I'm still going to continue to use it. Composting. At the end of the week, I'll take my compost out to be added to a bigger pile, or when the markets are open, sometimes we'll take it to the farmer's market where they're often accepted. I go through all my empties and recycle them properly and then write down a list of whether I want to replace them if they add value, for example my morning and evening moisturiser. I also go through all my cupboards and ensure nothing has spilled and is stored correctly, as well as take inventory of what's there so nothing gets wasted and nothing gets replaced that hasn't been finished yet. I do the same with the fridge as well. When we're busy, I sometimes opt for something more convenient depending on the day and forget about some food that's about to go off or needs eating up, so I freeze vegetables or food that's going off, making a stir fry or anything in my fridge style curry to ensure food is not getting wasted. Just a reminder guys, if you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed. Clean and hang up to dry all my reusable face cloths and little reusable beauty things like makeup brushes. Again, if we take care of our items, well, they will last us a really long time. I bought one of my makeup brushes many years ago, and because I've taken care of it and washed it weekly, it's held up and hasn't shown many signs of wear and tear. I clean and sterilise my jars that either I've bought something else in and will now reuse, or I'm going to pickle or ferment something. Yes, I pickle and ferment a lot of things because I'm learning a lot about it at the moment, and also I just bloody love pickles. This helps to get rid of the smell from previous foods as well as to make sure that the jar is safe to use. To help me on my low buy year, which is an attempt to save money and lower my waste, I look at and write down a list of all the items I bought that week, if any, and compare it to my budget and sustainable goals. If I have brought something into my home, I assess what items should be removed as a kind of one in, one out policy. I personally really enjoy this process because it makes me more mindful and grateful for what I already have. I think this is what my friend Shelby calls eco-minimalism, and I think it's just a really great term. Each week I head to my local shop to replace some items, mostly dried goods, with unpackaged ones where possible. I'm incredibly lucky to have so many zero waste shops near me, so I use that privilege wisely and help to support the shop, buy my groceries, and hope that demand increases and drives down the price to make them accessible for everyone. I clean my kettle. Being a British family, we drink copious amounts of teas every single day, so we need to keep our kettle clean by removing limescale to prevent build-up. I simply use lemon and vinegar to do this, and it works a charm. I will often set out my outfits for the week after I've washed and dried them. This helps me to see what I'm really wearing on a weekly basis, and it encourages me to think minimally and enjoy the simplicity of a capsule wardrobe rather than constantly thinking about more and more items I could buy. As part of my food prep, I also replace my condiments that I'm eating a lot of. I am a big fan of mayonnaise and it's so easy to make yourself, so this is often something I will make each week. I'm also experimenting with making ketchup too. If you're interested, I've got 3 mayonnaise recipes that I will link in the description below. Some farmers markets are still open, which is awesome, so each week I will go and pick up a few things from local vendors to help support their businesses and try and buy as much local produce where possible. I have a Commonplace book that is dedicated to environmentalism, climate change, sustainability, and each week I write down quotes from activists who've inspired me or books I've read as well as articles. This may not seem like a particularly sustainable habit, but if we look at the root of what sustainability means, the ability to exist constantly, then the habits that we change or the way of life we now lead has to also be sustainable. So this Commonplace book is my own little way of reminding myself of why I live this way, why I continue to fight for climate justice and will always question why. I'd love to hear your weekly sustainable habits, so feel free to pop them in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a like if you do like it and want to see more videos like this. And if you want to see a shorter, concise version of 100 habits, then I will leave that in the description below as well, for 100 zero waste habits that you have to try. I just want to say a massive thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video and always supporting my channel and my content. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform from which to create your website. I use Squarespace for my website, and it helps you to connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content, manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all on one easy-to-use platform. And if you want, you can also extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. So if you're interested in checking out Squarespace, you can go to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/sustainablyvegan to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you very soon.